Louisiana, economic leaders hope to make our state the Silicon Valley of the South. In Richland Parish, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is building a massive data center to meet its needs for the future of artificial intelligence. Here's a look at what that means not only for the region's economy, but for Louisiana as a whole.
Meta AI, paint me a picture of Richland Parish, Louisiana. This is what artificial intelligence powered by Meta's language model Llama can do. The photo of Richland Parish shows vast tracts of open land and dirt roads, which in reality could be a rendering of the future home base of the Meta AI brain that created this photo.
And right here is the starting line of where the state of Louisiana site begins.
Scott Franklin is the fourth-generation owner of farmland in Holly Ridge, sold to the state 20 years ago for the purposes of economic development. We drive the 1,400-acre tract of land to get a sense of the size of Meta's AI data center.
What has the community reaction been to the news?
Well, if you're not from Richland Parish, I always get the question asked, why in the world did they pick Richland Parish? I said, well, it's because it's the best place you could ask for. You know, we just didn't know it.
But Meta saw the site's potential. The parent company of Facebook and Instagram purchased the farmland for its access to groundwater and power to build the 4 million square foot AI data center.
We just announced that we were building a 2 gigawatt plus data center in Louisiana that we're going to use to train future versions of Llama. We are in this for the long term, and we are committed to building the most advanced AI in the world.
This is the largest data center announcement we've ever made for a single location. We're anticipating more than a $10 billion investment in this particular data center region. That will ultimately support 500 operational jobs. This site in particular, just amazing access to infrastructure, an incredibly reliable electrical grid, business-friendly climate, both at the state of Louisiana level as well as Richland Parish, and just tremendously supportive and helpful partners in the community.
That business-friendly climate amounts to a sales tax rebate for hyperscale data centers in Louisiana that lawmakers passed in 2024.
The Louisiana legislators, the LED, deserve a tremendous amount of thanks and gratitude for taking the steps and very quickly implementing a sales tax exemption, because that's what these data center companies really need. And you know, I often say 10 cents sales tax on a McDonald's cheeseburger, we don't really feel that. 10 cents on $1 billion, that's real money. So these sales tax exemptions, about half the states in the country allow sales tax exemptions for data centers. And so it immediately puts you in a club if you have the sales tax exemption.
Construction has started on site work. At its peak, the project anticipates 5,000 construction workers on site and plans to invest $200 million in infrastructure improvements, including water systems and area roads.
So Karen, just to give you some perspective, you know, we've been driving around the perimeter of the site for about 15 minutes and we really haven't even made it halfway around the circle, just to tell you how big of a site this is and how big of a facility this is going to be.
We're anticipating that it will be operational at some point in 2028. That process will involve quite a few partners along the way. We have 3 different general contractors that we have engaged for this particular project.
Meta will be creating upwards of 500 permanent jobs to run this operation once it's fully open. And those jobs will be high paying. They're nearly 150% of the local household income average of Richland Parish. So high paying quality jobs in a place that desperately needs more high paying quality jobs.
The economy of Richland Parish, home to 20,000 residents, has largely depended on timber and farming. The area is also the poster child for a declining rural America, where changing times call for economic changes. The Franklin family sold the land to provide opportunities for future generations, a legacy left by the property's original owner.
My great-grandfather, George Franklin, he was an orphan in Alabama, lived in an orphanage, not a good place to be at that time, 120 years ago. Fled an orphanage and jumped on a train heading west at age 14. He got very sick on that train and had to jump off for medical attention, so he jumped off at Holly Ridge, Louisiana, just right down the road from where we are now.
Scott's great-grandfather worked for a lumber company, acquiring timber in exchange for land. Over the years, he amassed thousands of acres, which became Franklin Farms. The land brought prosperity to 4 generations and now fosters the region's evolving economy.
It's going to take a while for us to truly realize how much this changes the world here. You know, it's hard to picture it looking back then, but at the end of the day, you know, the goal was to keep our children at home, to create enough opportunity to where they would have something to come back to.
Initial jobs will be in the construction industry and service providers in the food and hospitality industries, plus housing development. These are jobs that comprise the first wave of the proverbial AI gold rush that Louisiana aims to capitalize on.
2022 comes, ChatGPT releases, OpenAI releases ChatGPT, the first major generative AI platform in the world, and everything changes. Everything changes very quickly. All the big tech companies realize that this is their future, and they begin to spend billions and billions of dollars in building out infrastructure to power AI applications, specifically these generative AI applications.
Is the vision to have Louisiana become the Silicon Valley of AI?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. Yeah, we want to lead in artificial intelligence for sure. And so we think about this in terms of a holistic strategy. Step 1 is infrastructure. We can check that box in a very major way with this Meta project in Richland Parish.
Meta plans to offer community action grants to local schools and nonprofits to advance STEM education initiatives and tech-based workforce development.
It has absolutely already transformed our economy, no question about it. So, you know, from an economic development standpoint, I would say that we have already seen a noticeable impact on what you would traditionally expect. Our builders, our construction materials groups, landlords, landowners, those folks that you would expect in the early part of the gold rush. So those companies are already being impacted throughout the region. So not just Richland Parish, not just Ouachita Parish, but throughout the entire region, we're seeing these companies already have an impact.
What do you think your great-grandfather is thinking, looking down from above? What do you think he's thinking? This man who hopped off a train as an orphan, acquired all this land.
That's going to be hard for me to answer. Just the fact that he came here and there was nobody there to love him except the people of this community. And to see everything that we have been blessed with is special, very special.
Quite a legacy.